So welcome to the May 29th, 2024 Eidelweiss Board of Commissioners meeting. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
I see no modifications, I'll second that. No
Aye.
discussion? 2-0. An approval of the minutes of May 21st, 2024. First, there's two sets to approve. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the 21st of May.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
No, it was good.
How do you vote?
Aye.
2-0. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 24th. I think I wrote those.
You did.
That would be highly critical.
No.
Yeah. I'll
I'll
second
make a
that.
motion, yeah, second. Discussion?
No, it was good.
All in favor?
Aye.
2-0. Approval of the manifests. The first one's the operational manifests, and the agenda has it as $16,636.64.
Yep, correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the manifest for discussion.
Second.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So most noteworthy in this is there's still a Matheson bill for one cylinder,
One cylinder.
That was the renewal.
and
Yep.
it's $68 for a year. Now, we were being charged monthly for like 6 cylinders,
Right.
and you gave them 3 cylinders back, but this invoice is for one cylinder for a year.
That was the renewal one, yep.
Okay.
So are they going, well, you don't know.
I
How would
don't.
you- They're not telling you this?
I don't
I can tell by
know.
the look on your face, they're not telling you this.
I made it perfectly clear that we use 3 tanks that that we have. One's acetylene, one's oxygen, and one's argon. And that's all I know.
So I'd say we pay this, but we keep an eye on whether we get more
Future.
from Matheson and what
Right.
cylinder.
Right.
Yeah.
Which cylinder are we talking about here?
Right,
Yes.
Where's the
right.
fee?
Where's the ball? Yeah, that's odd. It seems cleaned up. I mean, if that's a year, because wasn't it a monthly or bi-monthly charge of $50-something?
It was, I thought it was 86 when I was noticing it
Oh,
for the
okay,
6
good.
one.
Yeah.
That's- So on this, we have the payment to the New Hampshire retirement system of $7,380.
Yep,
And we're paying Alvin Coleman $355 for gravel. An electric bill for just the Muddy Beach facility. We're paying FW Webb for the pressure relief valve that you guys put on. Paying Francine Rowe for checks.
Yep.
Health Trust, we're paying for health insurance,
that was also backlogged.
$4,000.
Yep, that's 3 months.
$4,504.08.
That's for one person.
And
3 months though.
Ossipee Mountain Electronics
Yeah.
was $690.50.
That's not bad.
That was all that cleanup of the mics
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some replacement of some antennas and things like that.
Yeah.
So just to keep in your head, because you're loving math more and more these days, we have a bank balance of about $55,000, and this is going to be taking $16,636
Yeah.
out of it. So I'm going to write on here. I'm going to vote yes on approving this if you have no questions.
Nope.
2-0, we approve it?
Yes. When's the next payroll?
Probably next week, right?
It's Friday, but I just submitted it yesterday. They haven't sent me back the final.
If you're gonna run off, do you want to take these and sign them now, or can you sit with us at the end and sign them?
I can sit with you at the end as long
Okay.
as it's not too late.
This meeting shouldn't take long. You want to stop?
We can do
signing?
them after.
Yeah.
We can keep going.
Then we have a water manifest of $486.13. So I'm going to give this back to Jennifer,
Thank you.
and we'll sign the checks afterwards. And here's the water manifest, and this is the uranium notice. This is to pay Minuteman Press $486.13. Did you get the mailing? Not yet?
Not yet.
I did get it. I went to my mailbox yesterday. I hadn't been there in a few days. I got my Madison tax bills, which are due on July 18th. So you should be getting those tax bills soon. And the uranium notice.
Apparently
Did you get, have you checked your mail?
I have the tax bill, but not the uranium yet.
Okay.
Me too.
So I'll make a motion to approve this water manifest to pay Minuteman Press $486.13.
Second.
Discussion on this?
No.
How do you vote?
Aye.
I vote aye also, so that's 2-0. And I'll say we're approving this. And so at 9:09, we'll launch into the DPW report.
Okay. So, we haven't scheduled anything at this point for the DPW meet and greet type
Meet
of
and
thing.
greet.
I did speak with Carrie, and we figured when we know more about the grader and we get that coming back, we could firm down a date. But like I said, Tony and I are both agreeable on a Sunday morning to get that done. Hopefully get a better turnout. So we'll cover that more at that point. I did talk with Dale over at Chadwick yesterday. And he was on vacation. He was speaking with the guy that runs the show over there, and they're gonna see. I think he's gonna check with the parts department and make sure all the parts are in, and I'll get a firmer idea today or tomorrow. He said he'll get back to me on when that can maybe go out. And then he said, hopefully it's a 2 to 3 week turn and burn on their end and get it back.
So that would get us into the last week in July, hopefully of June, getting this back.
Yeah, so hopefully it's going out sooner and get a sooner turn back. So that's where we are with that. The fuel log was something that we went back to creating. At this point now, I would think that you guys get the bill for what fuel is delivered. So going forward with the log in place, and we've got a running one at the shop. When the sheets are filled, we'll hand them into the office. And I don't know if you create a folder and just put them in there, and if you want to go back and see what was delivered and what we used and add those figures up at this point. I mean, that's the way I see it.
Eventually, I'd like to be able to track what these different pieces of equipment burn, the rate that they burn.
Right,
Indicator of how well they're doing and
right.
what decisions we make on them,
Yeah, so,
Like, I'd like to know what the grader does pushing snow versus pushing
right.
roads.
Oh, yeah, the grader definitely burns some fuel pushing snow, and they all do.
Pushing the road, it burns even more, I bet.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Pushing gravel, I mean,
Right. So that's why we created that and gone back to that, just to again be accountable for what it is.
We used to review these on a regular basis.
Right.
But that was,
Many years ago.
Right. So that's why we decided to bring that back into play
Very
again. So I don't know. And again, I spoke briefly before we started the meeting. I'd have to come in the office at a time when, you guys aren't all that busy, and I know that's not right now, but to get those fobs going again. And again, my
At the
understanding.
state garage, the state pumps.
Right.
Yes.
My understanding is from speaking to DOT, the woman over there at the fuel transfer department there, whatever it was called. She said, and I went on the website on my phone, and there's a bunch of forms, and there's a form to download. See, they gave us the new fobs, but we don't have an identification number. And there's a
Okay.
form, all it is a form that we fill out to get those identification numbers.
It's like an application.
It's an application. So it seemed easy enough for, especially, I'm not a guy that downloads and does websites and stuff, but I was able to see the different forms. And I think a phone call to her and the computer in front of us, it'd be an easy fix to do. So that's something we could sit down and get something going on to get those working. So now, like you say, we can go to the state garage and get the fuel, because we're going to be needing, there's no sense buying those $30 mixed gasoline gallons to run the chainsaw and the blower, because when we're using those, we can mix up 5 gallons
Right there.
with oil and gas,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and just save a lot more money than buying those $30 a gallon mixed fuels. Those are good when we're going to put the saws kind of to bed and the blower to bed for the winter, and you kind of run that nice good fuel through them and store them. But since we're using them more often these days, we can mix up some fuel. But again, I got to go buy fuel
Right.
at either the Beep Beep or, like I say, the state sheds with the fobs.
I think we used to use at the Tamworth State Police, the registry has pumps there. I think the fob works there also.
It probably does.
Just so you know, if you happen to be going that way,
Right.
just know that it's not just the
153. Yeah, that's, so like I said, we gotta at some point take 10 minutes and sit in the office and go through that form.
Is there a fee involved with the application?
No.
I
No.
don't believe so.
Okay. And the number that you gotta get is called,
I think it's an identification number. So
Some kind
the
of
fob works. When I went to the
Yeah.
unit to use it, the
Yeah.
fob got me going.
But you
And then
gotta-
after that, you have to plug in a couple things, and it said ask for an identification number. So we didn't know what that was, and each fob had a number written on it. But then I realized they were the license plate number. So each truck, the 2 Dodges, each have a fob for each one.
Right.
So that's all that was. I don't think when we got the new fobs, whatever it was, a year ago, 6 months ago, or whatever it was, nobody went through to get the application to get the identification number at that point. So that's where we're at. We have to log in, download the form, fill it out, get it back, and have them send us a number.
so you and Jennifer will work on that?
Yeah, I mean, we could take a look at that together.
sure.
And I see here about a tree removal. I got that tree out of the road yesterday. There was a couple of them down
Yeah.
that we were messing with. Is that one of the calls or emails you got? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna clean that up a little better today and get those other couple that are down. There's one on Hutwell. That
You
was
saw
hanging
that near the
there.
construction site?
Yeah, and there's another smaller thing going up towards St. Moritz there.
The stuff came down on Appinville Way Friday night,
Oh yeah.
so I just broke them and pulled them to get one lane open. I figured Memorial Weekend,
Right.
let you guys.
Yeah, I never got a call or
No,
anything.
I didn't
so-
call. I figured
Right.
everybody can get by and
Yep.
no reason to ruin the weekend.
So doing my inspection yesterday after the long weekend, I saw that, got in the backhoe, made a couple cuts.
I called you Monday morning, but your phone
Yeah, that
wouldn't take a message.
that phone never took messages. It always asked me for a password, and I never set it up with a password when I got that phone, so I never knew the password to get messages. And it's not holding the charge, so it doesn't allow messages. So that's definitely, like I said, it's an old flip phone. I don't care about a flip phone. I'll take any type of phone. I don't need anything fancy. But a phone that's going to work a little better, I think at some point we're going to have to address. So then I made a few lists of my own. I've been putting the fence up around, the memorial, the the flagpole for the summertime. I put the signs up over by Boulder Beach, no parking between those signs. I rake the beaches out. But a guy come over to me up on the bridge there, the dam, in a kayak, and said how there was some sticks in the big pipe over at Big Loop. So I got on my hands and knees, laid on my belly, and looked down in there, and the beavers are back. So, you know, I called Tony, and of course Tony's got a guy for everything, and he made a phone call, and you know, he knows of a guy that'll come and get rid of them, trap them, take them away, $150 a beaver. So that's kind of, I don't know where we're at.
So in
with
my
that.
40 years here, I've seen them trap beavers, and it always seems that they must leave a male and a female.
They do like to have a lot of pups.
Well, they just keep coming back. So,
Like groundhogs.
but I guess it does relieve the damming problem, the beaver damming problem inside the culvert for at least a season. I guess it's been a couple of years
It's
since.
been a few now since we've had an issue with the beavers. So I think we used this guy the last time. I couldn't remember using this guy. I remember another guy that came down from Maine that did it maybe 5 years ago. But this guy's definitely cheaper.
They used to pay for pelts. Then you didn't have a problem finding a trapper.
Right, it's a lot harder to find somebody nowadays.
Just the best.
But this guy's more of a local guy, and
So we'll wait to hear what his price is, and then we'll vote on
well,
it.
his price is $150.
So you know that then.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get one, he's not gonna charge anything. Now I don't know. We've been discussing it. I could get in contact with him and talk to him and see what his best route is. Obviously, the dam's there now, and I kind of got a little suspicious when I noticed lately that there's not much water or any running through the pipe. It's kind of quiet, and it's like murky, and you can't see the bottom over on the big
I
piece
noticed how
side.
thick it is. I thought that was from the 1 inch rain that we got.
Well, the pollen, there's been a few different things kind of
It's really
tipping it
dark.
off. It's really dark, so there's no water going through. So if we bust the dam open, the water starts going through. The beavers are going to come to block it back up. So I want to talk with him before I go and bust it open, so he could do his thing
Yeah.
to try to catch them.
Yeah.
So if you guys allow me to move forward with that, we could kind of do that, however you want to do it.
I'll make a motion that we hire a trapper at $150 a beaver.
Second.
Further discussion?
Nope, we need to do it.
2-0.
Okay. So we'll contact him and get that going. So the 2018 Ram came back last week. So we, when it went, it died kind of right there, not in the middle of winter, but at the end of winter, right after that storm, when the bearing went on it. So we broke it down, but couldn't move it. It was up at Building 2 where we parked it, and it had to get towed from. We never had the chance before it left to really give it a good cleaning, the spring cleaning like we'd like to. We just stripped it down and off it went to the dealership. So when we got it back, the linkage was all jammed up on where you pull down for the tailgate, the ears, and he opens up to let the tailgate down. And as we tried freeing that up, it kind of snapped in a spot, so we had to bring that up to Albany Service. And they fixed it up for us.
Welded it?
Yeah, and had to get that back together. They also changed the tires at that point, so you'll see that bill coming in for that, if it hasn't already, I don't know.
Yep.
So that's what happened with that. The 19's at the dealership, and that's getting they're gonna check that exhaust heat
Yes,
shield
very
damage
good.
and get me a price on that and an estimate on what that's gonna be. They're doing the service for it. It needs oil and fuel filters and that type of stuff.
Just back to the exhaust. One of the reports said that it was a cowl on the transmission, but it
Yeah.
was really a heat shield on the
Yeah, it's
Exhaust?
part of the transmission exhaust. And I don't. It's all like right in there. I think is.
But it's the exhaust system that they're quoting us on, like they're gonna fix.
Yeah, that heat shield.
So they just got it, they haven't told us how much they...
Right. No. Yes. Exactly. But there was the shifting issue with it that I had him check as well. That threw a code about the stability control shifting and all that, and he did find some software that was updated for that, so that should be shifting properly now. So I'm waiting to hear back on that quote. And I got the International now, since I got the Dodge D18 back over at Albany Service to get the sticker done on that. So we talked about that a while ago, about that's going to need a few things, some tires and backup alarm and things like that. So that's over there getting that set up. And that's where I'm at.
We are running as fast as we can towards a tax anticipation note. We have a cash flow issue until we get that. And then I just said the tax bill. So the tax money, the mid-year tax money doesn't get to us until weeks after July 18th when they're finally due in. Town's pretty quick about doing it, which is good. So
They're very good at it.
I'll be talking about I just want to give you the heads up on cash flow is that
Yeah.
anything that doesn't need to be spent,
Okay.
let's not do that. I took a look at East Bergamo and saw the painted rocks that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, they go all the way up the road,
Oh, yeah.
all the way up to Class 6 Road.
Yeah.
Also noticed that there's a culvert across the mouth of where Class 6 Doorfly goes to the one house that's in the woods.
Yeah.
And that has a hole in the top of the culvert, dead center in the middle of the Class 6 road. It's about like this. So it's not a big issue. A tire will thump through it. But we need that on the list of culverts that have to be replaced. So East Bergamo could take a lot of gravel,
Yes.
but we can't do it right now.
Right.
But we need to do that in other roads like that.
We are going to ditch that. Going up that left side, there's some coffer dams that were put in, little, I don't know, coffer dams with little bumps to slow it down. But we're going to ditch that with the backhoe.
Ditch dams. they
Yeah,
call
ditch
them.
dams, yeah. So we're going to, do a little of that prep work on that, obviously, and then if we could get a little gravel on it at some point down the road, we will. But yeah, I did see the rocks.
So when you're cruising up there next time, take a look at that
The
culvert.
pipe,
Yeah,
I'll
you'll
look at
see
that
it.
pipe, yeah.
Stakes to mark where the porta potty should go.
Yeah,
Um,
I
We-
could put those out.
yeah, if you can get those out, and let me know so I can take pictures of them and send them to the porta potty company, then we'll be on schedule for them to deliver deliver the 5 of them, June
4.
15th.
They putting one at Port Shore?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. They
Yeah.
never have.
No, I don't. So
Okay.
that should probably go in the circle.
Right.
I think
Okay,
the
that's what I was
green
gonna
sign
ask.
that says what the rules are is right
Somewhere
there.
over there,
Yeah.
in that corner.
Off
Okay.
to the side of that, not
Yeah.
blocking the way in.
Okay.
People will know it's there because they
Right.
pass it on the way in.
Right. They'll see it before they walk down. Okay. 5.
We got a communication about stakes on Burn Drive. Wooden stakes with orange on the top 3 inches painted. I went out and looked at it. We didn't put them out there.
No.
My best guess is it's a surveyor. And surveyors usually drive a nail into the ground with some flagging tape,
Right.
and that marks where their tripod is for their transit.
Yeah, they marked them there going down Sarnin as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of surveying going on a couple of weeks ago with that.
So the Hotwell Burn, what we're calling the Como zone now,
It's getting a lot of action.
yes, it's continuing if the surveyors out there spotting new areas to build houses.
Yes, the new one that they were just recently surveying is going to be towards the Sarnin side of Eidelweiss Drive, so it's going to be down in that direction, and they were looking to find pins. They actually hit all 4 at my house.
So they probably-
that they knew where they could.
Oh, I see. So they might have been using
Measure
points
from,
points
yes.
on burn, burn
On burn
to figure out where they. I get you.
Yep,
On Sonnen.
yep.
And if it has a Sonnen driveway, that'll be the first house on Sonnen.
Yes,
There's no
yes.
house
I don't know.
outside.
I didn't get.
Speaking of finding houses, next segue. Communication by the owner of what was formerly called the Lodge, 100 Oak Ridge Road.
Mhm.
He has a problem with the fact there's no signage. Even you and I were discussing how Clausen, where
Right.
Clausen ends, where Presidential View comes in.
Yeah,
And his problem is that when you're coming up Oak Ridge, you stay in Oak Ridge, you don't go on Presidential View. You get up to where it intersects with Clausen, and there's no signage to say Oak Ridge Road actually continues towards the summit. So he has deliveries that won't deliver because they can't find the house, they can't find the road.
Oh,
They pull into the summit, they're looking for a house. The only thing they see is a windowless
I see the
tank
roof.
station, buried, half
Oh.
buried in the ground, and antennas for radio stations and so forth. They don't see a house because you can't see the house.
Right.
So he's begging for a sign because even his guests can't find. They come up to see him and they can't find. They're driving around up there trying to find
Right.
100 Oak Ridge Road, and it doesn't appear to be one. So he's saying, he asked me, how much does the signs cost? And I said, I don't know what they cost now. If you remember, I used to get some signs made
Yes.
that were less expensive, but weren't the big reflective ones that you absolutely have to have in an intersection with a state road.
Right.
The roads like Sonnen and Eidelweiss Drive and Grissom that come out to the state roads have to have the classic big green
Right.
reflective. But inside the village, you don't have to have those.
Right. You had those other type of. They were green and reflective, but they were smaller.
We had all kind. We originally just had white wooden signs
Right.
with black letters on them,
Right.
and they were on trees,
Yeah.
and they never got
There's-
bent over by
There's a couple
our
still
own
there.
plows. Yes,
Right.
yes, that still work.
Some that haven't.
I'm going to actually
rotted
put a
away.
screw in the one on Salins so that it stays up on that ash tree correctly. So anyway, this guy's in desperate need, will pay for a sign that gets deliveries to his house and gets his guests not coming into his house frustrated because they've been driving around trying to find his house. So we need to have a sign program because we're missing a few signs.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'd like to do something if I can to get this guy a shorter term fix because we're not going to get the signs for a while. You have it. I might ask people to tell us what signs they would like that they know they'd like to see replaced in their areas. I'm sure every neighborhood has a street sign that they know
we
is
need
missing.
that big loop sign.
The big loop one. Somebody actually made a nice little wooden sign, put it on a tree,
I know.
and I don't know what happened to that one. So if somebody likes taking big loop signs, whether the official sign that was on that, and I don't think I want to put them back on those poles if they're taking them off the poles.
Well, it would have to be higher.
I think 8 feet up a tree has worked well for the village in the last 60 years. It's just a matter of whether the tree's in the right place for us to do it.
Right. I mean, we could easily clean some branches up to get it there
Right.
if the tree is there. But we could use, I do have some long poles and shive a couple of long ones that would keep it over 6 feet high.
But it's the wing plows and that.
Well, if we could strategically put them in the right place as well, and then
Here's the rub is to get the greatest visibility of the sign. They're in the worst place
Right.
for the plows,
right.
which is why the tree seems to have worked better over time.
yeah,
Trees don't give in to the plows too easily.
as easily anyway. Yeah,
So, I don't even know how I'd like to do something for this guy, and what I might do is tell him he can order signs from an online company like I used to do. And if he gets them, we'll put them up as a temporary solution until we... I think it's even a better solution than putting an Oak Ridge Road sign at that intersection at Clausen to say Oak Ridge Road continues. It doesn't look like a road once it turns into the cul-de-sac parking lot type of...
Right.
So I guess I don't need a motion. I will just tell him how we can get signs made. Maybe the motion is that if he gets signs made, we'll put them up. There's my motion.
Second.
Any further discussion on that?
No, it's a good
Okay.
idea.
2-0. We'll put signs up if he gets signs made. So we get the porta potties. Can those go in this week, do you think?
Oh,
The
I'll get those
stakes?
stakes in, absolutely.
I took pictures of the damaged fence of the playground up close, and Asplund has contacted the fence company and sent to Conway that has the label on the sign on the fence itself. They said that they would give Asplund a quote, but they won't come out to do it. They wanted pictures. Yesterday I called the fence company and I left a message asking them to send us an email or call us and tell us what email address we can send the pictures to.
They did, and we
they?
sent them, yep,
You already sent the pictures
Yep.
to them?
we sure did.
Nice
Wonderful.
job, Jennifer. Okay, so that's rolling along. Now it's up. The Asplund guy's on vacation, so it might be a week or two before that playground fence gets fixed. The dam. We got a heavy rain over the weekend. It's supposed to be over an inch. I heard it coming down at 3 o'clock in the morning like a train.
Yeah.
But it stayed below the marker on the black pipe in the dam, so it wasn't a threat. It's not overflowing by much now. The inspectors of the dam asked us if there's a date they would like them to come. Remember they said they're
Yeah.
coming after May 8th? And now we communicated with them, they communicated back and said, well, if you have a date you'd like. So I mentioned to Jennifer that we should probably tell them a date when we know Wood is back, because I'm sure Wood
Yes.
wanted to talk to the dam inspector. And I don't think we could pick a date and expect Wood to be available that date. He's got to be back and tell us
Yes.
what his schedule is before we answer that. So,
Now, that's not a guarantee that they're gonna be able to accommodate the
Yeah.
date.
Correct.
We can just, yeah,
We can try.
Yeah.
so I think they need to hear back from us that we would like to tell them the date, our best date,
yeah,
in a week and a half, when Wood is back and can tell us what dates work for him,
Okay.
and then see. So if you can just
yeah,
say,
so
that-
we should give them like a
window.
block of, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just a date, but like,
yes,
yeah,
but we could do that once we have Wood
Yeah.
telling us what it is. So
Right.
if you can tell them that we'd like to tell them a range of dates in a week and a half.
okay.
Everything has to be complicated.
Alrighty,
Good.
But it's important to him to meet the people who are doing the inspections
Oh,
if he
yeah.
has questions.
Yes.
okay,
Yes, and whenever it gets scheduled, that is something that will be posted as a commissioners meeting, because we'll all be there.
Appinville Way, the Vino construction site.
Yeah.
That driveway's had extensive work done,
Yeah.
and it's got 2 mouths to it. Did you notice that?
I did.
And it's not a radical slope towards the road, but it's a positive slope to the road the whole way. And it goes all the way to the back of the lot. So I don't see a negative grade. And I'd like to see what the application looked like, where they drew in that there's 2 mouths to the driveway.
I've never seen that application. That was before my. So that.
In the garage, in the DPW1 garage, in the office that goes up over in the back corner,
Yeah.
There's no file cabinets, but there's a stack of driveway permits up there.
Really?
Um,
Do we know what number Appinville?
I'm not sure.
no,
Were you looking at this because you guys were looking at driveways over the?
no, I just happened to
Friday?
notice
Okay.
they're working on it, and I'm noticing that they look like they're finishing up, and now's the time to tell them. But I'd like to see what the application looked like. What did
Right.
they approve for construction? Doesn't
Right.
mean that we're approving it for operation.
Right.
But that's the dilemma. If they approved it, what they approved for operation, are we bound by that? Now it becomes a legal issue, I think. So first thing is, I'd like to get those, I want to tell you, I'm gonna take those,
Okay.
that stack out of there. There's also a printer up there, which is just a regular home desktop printer that's doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see what, I might move that out of there just to test it to see if it's any good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to use that space at all for anything. We can think about that.
Yeah.
But I'll go up there and look around some more. There's other papers that weren't driveway permits, but I'll take a look at that.
And I don't have anything pending,
It might
In
be
the
in the
pending
completed.
folder. so it might be,
in
if it's
It-
been
yeah.
completed, we'll just have to pull it and look at
Yeah.
it.
So it's either in a file cabinet or it might be in the pile upstairs.
Yes.
How can it be completed if it wasn't approved?
The application.
Oh, but there's a final inspection of the
Yes.
driveway that hasn't been done.
Right.
Correct.
The second permit to operate, as opposed to the first one to construct. That's all I have.
Okay.
So was that your report?
No,
Oh. Oh my God.
We didn't get that far yet,
No,
John.
this is still DPW.
Don't.
I have to do it when he's here. Which is why
I know,
don't do it in
I
my
get it.
report. So I have things that don't apply to DPW that I have to cover too. All set?
I'm all set, yes.
Okay.
Anything? No?
Nope, nothing for Jeff.
Well, thank you,
Okay.
Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Did,
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
foreman,
You too.
did you mention him?
Oh, I
Oh,
guess we
what?
should announce that
Oh,
you were
yes,
officially
yes.
Oh.
the foreman.
Right.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate.
It
Oh,
started last Friday. And that was also announced.
Meeting, by the way.
Yes.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
How was that?
It was good.
Was
Oh,
it
good.
packed room, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing room only? Everybody got a
Really?
seat?
So you had a good turnout.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
A great turnout for a day that was very nice on a holiday weekend.
Right.
I was really surprised people
Wow.
came
Interesting.
when they could have been outside
Right.
enjoying the great weather and things that they have to do around the house. And they were pretty enthusiastic about the future of Eidelweiss, I would say, is the way to sum it up.
I think
Oh,
that's
good.
nice. That's very nice.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to step into this role, and that doesn't mean anything's going to change on my part except a little bit more responsibility, but I'll always continue to work hard and do the best I can. I mean, I'm always willing to get my hands dirty, and I'm going to continue to do that, and look forward to bringing, the working foreman back in action.
And we need to work on an ad to advertise for an entry-level DPW employee.
Right.
We set the salary range at $21 to $24, and we need to flesh out what we're looking for. We also need a list of these great benefits that we offer too. I don't think I've ever seen them all in one place. New Hampshire retirement system, the healthcare coverage is above what everybody else is
It's
paying.
awesome.
And the side benefits of that of what we reimburse for deductibles and travel to medical events,
Right.
stuff like that. We need that listed out.
Yep.
More work to do.
Right. Absolutely. But thank you.
All right,
Enjoy the day.
have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, at 9:30 41, we have the administrator's report. Oh, this is some of my
Okay, so,
list.
yeah, so it's a little bit about where we're at with the TAN application. And it looks like you submitted everything, so it's a go, as far as I can say.
Yeah, we should probably,
We
left Dinah
minutes.
off at
We
10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
need the
happened?
minutes for the approval.
If
The-
you're talking about the 1997 annual meeting where the voters, the legislative body approved the
I
village.
think they want the meeting minutes of this year when you approved a $400,000 TAN.
They, in her response, let me get to that.
Okay.
In her response, third paragraph, she talked about getting a draft of the May 21st, 2024 meeting. And she said she needs a final, I think, and I wrote back to her to clarify that, is that, do we owe you the final copy of it? So evidently, back in February, seeing how it was the 21st, it was this board
Yes,
that voted a $400,000 TAN,
yes.
and we must have sent in a draft, must have said draft on it.
Okay, earlier you said May, but you mean February?
He means
February.
February.
Okay, very good,
February 21st.
yeah,
This is May.
yeah.
So, we have to see whether we have to get a copy of those minutes that were approved at the next meeting or a meeting afterwards.
Okay,
Find the February 21st. And we have to get those to her. So she can't do this loan until she gets that final version of it.
okay,
So that's the only piece that they need. The attorney has sent the opinion letter to the bank. So that's done.
Good, remember he said he wanted the application and all that?
But he was included, he saw everything going back and
Oh,
forth
okay.
to
Good, good,
Christie, and so they started talking to each other directly and expedited even more. So the other thing she had to do was investigate whether the interest rate was changing,
yeah,
and she wrote back as the interest rate has not changed.
Correct.
So we're getting the lower interest rate between the two banks,
Yep.
having gone full circle around because of the lawyers.
Uh-huh.
Now we're back to the lower interest rate.
When they'll ask for a closing date, and we put as soon as possible on and we can do that, I mean, you can make a motion to sign out a session or whatever.
Yep.
And actually, I don't think it'll be this fast, but two of you can sign it, it's still legal.
Mm-hmm.
If Wood is still on.
Yep.
Because I know we need to get this on the books as soon as possible.
So I'll make a motion that should the loan agreement come in before the next meeting, that we can sign it out of session.
Second.
Discussion on that? No?
Nope.
2-0 to sign a bank TAN agreement out of session, should we need to.
Do you want to discuss checking accounts going to Northway, or you want to wait till this is over and we can do that later? We can do it later.
I'm not even sure I want to do it this week.
Okay.
I might want to do it when Wood is back,
Okay.
because there's no rush
No
on that,
problem.
right?
No, no
Yeah.
rush.
Because she has a list of things here. So that covers the TAN.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is the dam inspection. We talked about that, huh?
yeah, you did.
Yep.
Curb stop water shut off to Simply Water for Too Little Loop.
Yeah, apparently they got a leak going on.
Nancy and I
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
went to look at it. They definitely have a leak
Yeah.
in the middle of their, between the curb stop and their house. He was digging up the curb stop trying to find it. He didn't find it, but thought he was in the area
Right.
where he believed they found it last time.
no,
So Simply Water is
Yeah.
going to try to get there today,
no, Thursday
Thursday morning.
morning,
He's got an excavator already lined up.
yeah.
Good.
So he was cutting it close, but
Mhm.
if Simply Water gets there, that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark, do they have the swing tie card ready from the office on that? That might help to locate where the curb stop is.
They have
They
access
have
to it.
that.
Oh, they do have that?
They don't
Yeah.
come to the office.
Simply Water
though.
has them.
And last on the list here is the bookkeeping contract.
Yeah, I got nothing back yet from her to update that contract.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, I think she's in the midst of having to complete that main income tax application again.
For payroll.
Mhm.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, because we have to have the account for paychecks to be able to send money.
yep.
I did sign, I guess I'm doing my commission's report all over this agenda though. I did sign the document for paychecks that transfers me from being the super administrator of the paychecks account to
To
the
the
Well,
administrator being the
They
super.
Yes.
said Nancy was the super
Right,
admin.
yeah, your name was on one of the forms that I
From when we
signed in
first
the early
signed up.
going.
From when we first signed up with paychecks.
Way back years ago.
But they were
Yeah.
sending oh, that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they were
Yes.
sending everything to me, even though I signed a document saying that you were continuing in it.
Mhm.
So we fixed that and switched it to Jennifer's
Mhm.
administrator, which makes sense because she's
Yes.
in the office.
Yes.
I also sent in the credit card application yesterday
Oh, good.
To Northway,
to Northway.
so that's good. Progress.
So you might get an email saying, you know, Elan, E-L-A-N is the credit card company.
So we're shifting from using a debit card to a credit card where we get better statements and track.
Yes,
everything.
and can track it better.
Okay, so at 9:48, we're seeing no old business or table items to review. We're also not seeing any signature items that we need to deal with. So now we're into the commissioner's report. On this agenda, it's a low interest rate program that was discussed by Maggie Hassan when she was here. I have not heard back from the gentleman that worked with her who left a business card. So the only thing I have left is to contact somebody in her office, which I hope to do tomorrow morning, this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and find out whether there's anything to that. I'll meet with FEMA tomorrow at 11. I should have asked Jeff. I think they know to show up. They want an estimate of what we're going to do this year to finalize fixing roads as a result of the July 16th rainstorm that damaged them all. That's going to be against the budget that we approved
For this year.
for this year,
Mm-hmm.
which that's the way it has to be. Is whatever we budget is what we laid out as a program, and that's what I'll have to give them as estimates of what we're going to buy in material, how much manpower, payroll we're going to use, and how much equipment we're going to use.
Right, and then should funds from FEMA come to the district, then we can replenish
Something tells
the
me they won't come in
gravel
time
or
for us.
whatever, but it generally will not happen, might not happen this year.
Okay.
So I think we covered everything. The TAN. I'm looking at all of the information from Primex on cybersecurity with the risk management people that talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that they recommend is that we change the domain name from being vdoe-nh.org to vdoe-nh.gov.
Oh,
They also have a list of other things, so I'll make a motion that we pursue adding the domain of .gov to the domains we already have control of, which is vdoe-nh.org and vdoe-nh.com. And then we'll have to plan on integrating gov in and replacing our email so that it says .gov and the website says .gov.
yes.
So I'll make that
Second.
motion, second.
Aye.
2-0 on that. And that's my report.
Okay.
So are you making the motion to move towards that?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
we're approving the idea of going towards a .gov.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so definitely would like to set up some time where we are going to be mobile and looking at some of these. We did look at the one on Jungfrau. I believe we need to get a letter to that property owner. It's not approvable on any level as it is sitting there today. It's too steep, it's too close to the pin. So there's multiple issues that we need to address in a letter. So that's,
I'll draft a letter to 11 Jungfrau,
yes.
and I'll draft a letter to the Hotwell Burn, Guy Marino's lot there, the one with
Okay.
the driveway straight through. We never noticed. I went down to that lot yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and Robert Smith was working one of the 3 big pieces of equipment they have there, but Bernie wasn't there, so I didn't get to tell him what we're talking about. So we need to get a letter to him also to say, this is the kind of culvert we want.
Okay,
This is what we can approve. So I'll draft those 2 letters and run over that with you. And we need time to look at other driveways.
Yes.
What works for you?
mostly I'm pretty open. There's
Thursday's
some-
not that bad of a day. It was supposed to be a rainy day, but every day has gotten better from its forecast.
So if you wanna, we could even set a little bit of time, if we wanted to look at a couple of them this afternoon and then look at a couple more tomorrow. This afternoon? Okay, so not this afternoon, but we can certainly look at a couple tomorrow if you want to.
Okay? What time works for you?
I'm gonna do it at 10.
Where do we go first?
We can, because we know we have to discuss with the construction crew on Burn, we can take that whole area, there's 5 of them, right in that area.
Okay.
Between Hotwell, Burn, Lucerne, that need to get looked at.
So I'll pick you up at 10
Sounds good.
tomorrow.
So does Jeff need to be there, or?
Not necessarily. If we see something, then we can ask Jeff to look at it afterwards.
Okay.
Yes.
See, now we didn't coordinate that with him. He would have never got through his DPW report if we stopped packing it with our commissioner's report.
Yeah. And then probably, possibly sometime this afternoon or somewhere by the end of the week. There's still some stuff I have to pull for the auditors. So I got to get into the office and spend some time doing that. I have a written start for motion log and for a couple of other things that I was looking at that need to, like driveways, because they had it all in the computer, so there's no written list. So I'll create that Excel and we'll get that going for 2024. And also I will go through and make sure that these guys are still on it, even though they were originally looked at last year. We still need to, they haven't been finalized, so they all need to stay on the current list, because they'll all get looked at this year.
Yeah.
So, and there's probably some others. I was gonna ask Linda upstairs, I gotta go upstairs anyway at the end, to get a copy of the list or the letter. The town of Madison recently sent out a letter to non-compliant driveways that were damaging roads. And so I'm gonna ask her to send a copy to the office so that we can look at it, and it might be a good start for some of the driveways that we know that are not compliant and that have been damaging our roads. So it'll give us a good starting point.
Excuse me, Nancy. I also have that amortization schedule for you. You needed.
Yes, for the audit. Thank you.
Well, I have to pick it up. I say that ready.
Do we know when the auditors are coming back to the office? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
We haven't, I need help with that, those forms.
Okay.
So if they're not coming back, they're not telling us when they're coming back, then I can wait until
Right.
next week until we get some time.
Okay, good.
And I'd still like to see how many outstanding water hookups there are and how many outstanding driveway permits, but we're getting a handle on driveway permits faster than we are the water permits.
Yeah, we haven't really looked a whole lot at the water yet. But
She
that's
asked for a copy of
the next list.
on your list?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, there was to
Jeff
make
is
sure.
asking for a copy of the work orders already placed to Simply Water, but she's not finding it easily forthcoming. Work orders to Simply Water?
Yeah, the work orders that were submitted earlier in the year, I can't, they were
locating them?
physically put in a book or anything like that, and there's at least 8 of them out there that I have no idea what they are. So I don't know if we have to do with water hookups or whatnot. I've asked them to just send me over copies of what was submitted. You obviously have them because they're numbered 1 through 8 that we don't have. And apparently that's an issue because I inquired 3 times now.
You can ask Ian.
and I'm not getting anything back, and then I was told that I'll get them back when they're completed.
It's okay. So,
So that was,
it's in an email to
that's
Ian.
the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know what they are.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that on the front
Well,
burner.
Here's the thing is, if the work order is for a water hookup, the contract says we're the ones to hire a contractor, and we don't have any idea what he's doing.
What we're
with
supposed
that.
to be doing.
Right, so
Right.
can't
Right.
wait until it's done for you to get them back. So
Right.
Right.
we need to get Ian to,
We'll get in touch with Ian and
To have
say
them
we
send
need
us
to
the
get a
work orders.
copy.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
And I wanted to mention to Nancy that we still have to work with DES on reporting water usage,
Yes.
and we still have to reach out to, what the heck is her name again?
Michelle at DRA.
Yeah, because I am
Um,
still not getting any response on that end of it.
that's
And we
typical.
both tried,
Yes.
and so
Been like that for years.
Yep.
I can't do it on my own, so.
And Doug, since you happen to be here, one of the forms that is required by the state through the Department of Revenue gets signed. It's the list of who was voted for
About
this
that.
year's officers, and it gets signed by the clerk.
Right.
So we will get a copy of that to you. You will need to, complete it,
Have it ready.
sign it up, and then we'll have a copy in the office once it's ready. But I'll get you a copy of that form.
Okay. I can stop by the office and take care of it, if you have it there.
Mm-hmm. We'll get it. And that was what I had.
Okay, I just wanted to mention before we close our commissioners report that we got a communication of a gentleman that writes a newsletter, and he wanted
Yes.
to interview the employees,
Yes.
and the message was sent back to him as the employees don't have time to be doing interviews,
Understood.
very busy.
Yes.
nor do they have the personal inclination to be doing interviews, so
Okay.
it's not part of 91A to do interviews.
Correct.
So at 10:01, we're down to public comments.
Is that it all?
Everything's covered? So we have the next meeting dates. We're back to all Tuesdays, Tuesday, June 4th, June 11th, June 16th, and June 25th, right here at 9 a.m. And those will,
It's June 18th, I believe.
June 18th and June 25th. And so I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 10:02.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2-0. Thank you.